welcome to another interview here at Evertiq Expo in Tampere 2025. I'm joined by Ronny Nitsche from Rochester Electronics, who quite recently had a presentation here at Evertiq Tampere introducing the Finnish crowd and audience to obsolescence management. How do you think that the audience took your message?
Well, I think this topic as such is a bit not particularly under the radar, but I do feel that many that are designing electronics or maybe not prepare themselves of this obsolescence phenomenon. It's there, but maybe I think you can do more than what is done today.
In a best situation, how would you approach it? Already in a design stage, I assume that you mean.
Yeah, you're quite correct, because the fundaments of the semiconductor industry is this so-called 4-year wave, right? So either we have too much capacity or too less capacity, right? And that causes end of life, because companies like to innovate new products. Innovation creates end of life, right? So it lies within the industry. So, and I would think that already the awareness in an R&D team how to design stuff, because engineers are very clever people, right? So it's more of a question of that awareness and try to fix that problem. I think only by that awareness people and companies will actually come a long way, right? But if you don't mind the problem, it not goes away, right? So that's the first point, awareness.
So it's basically what you're saying there. With the fact of the matter is that our industry is innovating itself into obsolescence because it's the nature of the industry. It's the self-feeding serpent in a way. So the first step is actually admitting that this is not going to last, and you're going to have to.
You have to address it.
You have to address it. Second step, where do we go?
Yeah, the thing is, if you are an R&D team, actually you can do maybe not 100% foolproof design that is obsolescence free. That would never happen. But what you can do is to mitigate the risk, right? Maybe you can design certain pieces of your PCB in such a way, make it more modular. Can you maybe do an additional pad layout for another socket, etc., etc. And the same goes with software. Can you design your software to be a bit better portable than anything else? And already by that, right, you have a consideration for what happens if I cannot find that core component, which is a must in its design, right?
And I assume that the third step is putting this into action
in
some kind of actual process.
Yes, an actual process. And for that one, I do believe we need both system that will help us, but also knowledge and people. Because if you only trust data, the data can trick you, right? You need someone to interpret the data, but also understand what's in the data and what's behind the data. And to do that, you need relationship. You need to speak to other human beings to understand, and then you need a process. How do we do that? To have maybe a team of project management, product management, purchasing, maybe component engineer and R&D to have frequent, whatever frequent is, topics about this. What if this happens? Are we prepared? Are we not prepared? What can we do? Etc., etc. And if you have a process like that, I'm sure that things will improve. But things will still happen.
What I've learned here in previous conversations with you is that no one can escape obsolescence as an occurrence. It's a matter of fact. Just get used to it. But are there specific sectors that are more prone to ad hoc obsolescence warnings or end-of-life warnings?
I think it's a general thing. You cannot protect yourself. However, the ones that have very long product lives, right? If you have a product that you service for the first 10 years.
Yep.
Then maybe go into service mode for another 5 years. That's 15 years.
Yeah.
15 years.
That these
That-
products need to be available. Yeah.
Exactly. But then there are other good examples. If you can afford to have a redesign of your board every second year,
Yeah.
that's one way of doing
That's
it.
one-
Probably an expensive way of doing it.
But it's one way of doing it.
Exactly. So naturally there are ways, but
Yeah.
normally we are stopped by money
Yep.
and financial reasons. It's not a practical way to solve it because we don't have an infinite amount of something, right?
Absolutely.
So we need to take some risks.
But to some extent, it also seems to me that not that they're stopped by it, but they're limited in their approach due to their understanding of obsolescence management from the beginning as well.
Yeah, correct. So again, it's about knowledge and acknowledge the fact that things will happen, right?
Yeah.
So if you know that something will happen, but you don't know when,
Still prepare.
still prepare
Yeah.
in a reasonable way.
Yes.
That is somehow cost effective because nobody has an R&D team standby,
No.
right?
Correct.
Nobody has that. Nobody can afford it.
So plan ahead in reason, invest in processes that are applicable, and do the research.
Yeah, and talk to people, build knowledge.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Thank you for the interview.
thank you. Thank you, Dave.